What's up, guys? So I have a 2014 F-250 6.7 in it, and this is probably going to be a series of videos that I do, maybe like a truck tip Tuesday or tech tip Tuesday, for guys that have similar trucks or just trucks in general that need to be conscious of some things if you're planning on, taking these trucks across the country on hunting trips or, to elk camp or wherever you're going. And what this does is removes the FCA on the high pressure fuel pump and adds a bypass in to return all the fuel through this filter. So if you have a pump failure, which is very common on these trucks, that it doesn't send any debris to your injectors, fuel rails, fuel lines, etc. SNS has done a ton of videos on this. They actually took apart a pump and purposely made it fail. I'm pretty sure they termed one of the lobes in there and sent metal through the whole thing and cut it apart, and everything was captured in the filter. So a little bit of background on me: I've been doing diesel performance work and diesel repair for probably the last 17 years. It's what I do for work. It's what I do for a profession. So a lot of this stuff that I'm going to be talking about or whatever I've installed, used plenty of dozens of times, and it's something I stand behind, and I recommend to anybody that I know that is trying to, just keep up with general maintenance on their truck or preventative maintenance or things that are just important. SNS has came out recently. It hasn't been released yet, but they do have a pump conversion, which hopefully when that comes out, I'll wind up getting one of them, and I will get that put in or whatever. But that pretty much takes away the CP4 issue altogether. It changes it to a DCR pump, which is overall just a better pump as far as longevity goes. So I guess with all that being said, we'll jump right in. All right, so after you take the upper and lower intake off, you got to take off your crankcase vent tube from the intake. Obviously unhook your intercooler pipe, both of them. And once you get everything out, you'll notice where your FCA's at. I've already installed the SNS block. Once I got everything apart, cleaned this with brake clean, and then blew it off the compressed air, pulled out the FCA, made sure that my FCA was clean. So I currently do not have a pump issue, which is nice. And then went ahead and installed the O-rings on the adapter, and then installed the FCA and then the bolts, and then I literally just tightened it up. Other than that, the instructions that the SNS sends with the kit, very straightforward. Everything that they tell you to take off and remove is everything that you should be taking off or removing to make your life easier. I've had these intakes on and off a bunch of times, so it's not anything new to me. But a lot of you see I still have my EGR on there. It is unplugged, but that's the next thing I'll be tackling soon. Obviously when you're in here, check the turbo. Mine's a 14, so earlier trucks 15 and later have updated turbo and stuff. That's a little better than these, not prone to failure like these are. So while you're in there, just check shaft play, make sure you don't have a bunch of in and out, the wheel looks good, which mine does, and make sure that you don't have any contact or anything with the wheel and the housing. So Other than that, once you get that in, you'll throw your intake pieces back on, get all your intercooler pipes and everything hooked up, and then work on routing your line, and then installing your filter, and everything after that should be good. All right, so once you get the lower and upper intake back on, make sure you get everything plugged back in. This is going to be from your FCA, runs up to the factory filter. Getting ready to put the new filter head and everything together and get the lines situated, and then I will get the input back on. But other than that, that's where it's going to come out at. They come with some zip ties to zip tie them up around to keep it out of the way of the intercooler pipe and everything else. So just giving you an update. All right, got my lines on, everything else connected to the filter head. This is going to be your fuel return going back to the tank. So if you can see down there, that fitting you're going to want to take off of there, rotate it, and then your fuel filter in to your SNS kit is going to connect onto there and then come up to right here. It's going to go through the filter, out of the filter, back down into your factory line, and go back to the tank. So that's where your filtration comes in to prevent sending debris and everything back to your tank and all that good stuff. So you can see the other line that's hooked up here. We've got the T that goes into your line down there, and then your feed right there. So put some zip ties on it, throw the filter on, intercooler pipe, put my other intercooler pipe on, my intake and stuff, and then we will turn the key on, cycle the key a bunch of times. I like to cycle way more than probably necessary, just to make sure that all of the air is out before I even try to start it. So on a system like this, I'll cycle the key 5, 10, 15, 20 times. I got a battery charger. I'll just throw a battery charger on the truck just in case, and then fire it up and check for leaks, and then after that, it should be good. Well, there you guys have it. Doing a SNS diesel bypass kit. Everything in here pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, they have different instructions for 2020 and newer, as far as like mounting your filter housing. They come with a couple extra things just in case you have one of them years and you want to mount it in there. But other than that, pretty straightforward. If you would like, comment down below if you guys have any questions or anything else you'd like me to cover, and then subscribe. Like I said, keep up to date. Planning on doing probably some sort of video every Tuesday just on just some basic maintenance stuff for your truck or anything that you should consider if you're planning on driving these things across the country, going hunting all over the place like I do. So like I said, like, subscribe, comment, share, whatever you guys got to do. I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.